And the world news. Protest near Minneapolis after police fatally shoots black man. Iran vows revenge of Israeli attack on Natan's nuclear site. Plus, politicians around UK to pay tribute to Prince Philip. Good afternoon. Welcome to Independent Television World News. I am Sharon Ajayi. The Sultan of SOKOTO, ALHAJI ABUBAKAR III, has directed the Muslim Ummah to look out for the crescent, also called the moon of Ramadan, from today. Abubakar gave the directive today in a statement by Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council SOKOTO, Professor Sambo Junaidu. The Sultan prayed Allah to assist Muslims in the discharge of their religious duty. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, observed by Muslims worldwide as a month for fasting, prayer and reflection and assisting the needy. Over 1,500 residents of Okada town and environs have benefited from the free medical treatment of Ibadan University Teaching Hospital, Okada. Deborah Guefin reports that the exercise climaxed yesterday with free surgeries and treatment availments.
The free medical exercise, which started at the Ibadan University Teaching Hospital Benin Center, was brought to the doorsteps of the residents of Okada town. The extension of the free treatment to Okada community afforded residents of other surrounding communities the opportunity to access medical care free of charge. Medical professionals carried out eye treatment, hernias, appendicitis surgeries, and other complicated surgeries for free. The pharmacy department of the hospital dispensed prescribed drugs to patients free of charge, a development that made the local residents excited. The Chief Medical Director, IUTH, Professor Nusaka Ibazwaye, said the free medical exercise, sponsored by the ESAMA of Benin, said Chief Dr. Gabriel Sawai Igbeneghan, offered successful treatment to over 1,500 patients with minor and severe cases, including surgeries. He said free eyeglasses were also distributed to patients. Professor Bazwaye said the free medical exercise is aimed at complementing the efforts of the state government in bringing qualitative healthcare to the public.
We've seen a total of over 1,500 patients since the program started, and a lot of patients also have been admitted. We have done over 30 surgeries for this very short period, and also about 200 free eyeglasses have also been distributed. We also have the dental surgeon is also on ground seeing patients. Those who have some problems with their teeth, doing scaling and polishing free. And also to the accident and emergency has been busy. We've had patients who have come in as trauma cases. So all these patients are being given free medical care, courtesy of the ESAMA of Benin.
The Public Relations Officer of Ibadan University Teaching Hospital, Okada, Uyo Saiti, said the successes recorded during a free medical exercise, both in Benin Center and Okada, were due to the commitment of the hospital and the philanthropic gesture of the sponsor, said Chief Dr. Gabriel Sawa Igbeneghan, who provided the resources for the exercise.
One man, a non-government, could make that happen. What the government cannot even do. You see an individual like the ESAMA of Benin doing all that. It started off in Benin for 1 week, and then another 1 week he says, please, you guys should extend it so that many more people can benefit, which we did. And after that, he says we should bring that to Okada and closer to the people.
The benefiting patients were full of appreciation for the management of the hospital and the ESAMA of Benin, said Chief Dr. Gabriel Sawao Igbeneghan for his gesture.
I've been suffering for the past many years for this surgery exercise because there was no enough money to do so. Chief ESAMA of Benin. I'm thanking him for his good gesture doing for us.
He's somebody that even directed me here that he has benefited twice from him. And I pray Almighty God will continue to sustain his life, continue to protect him and provide for him. All his children, grandchildren, Lord continue to bless them and protect them. He will not know evil in life, in Jesus' name.
He do it because he use and help many people who be say they lack of money. And the free treatment is very good. We really appreciate it.
Although the free medical exercise of IUTH climaxed on Sunday, the management of the hospital was still magnanimous to book more patients for surgeries and other medical treatments who are currently hospitalized at both the female and male wards of the hospital. Deborah Ubefon reporting.
Governors from the southeast of Nigeria have established a security outfit called ABUBAKAR as part of plans to checkmate the rising unrest in the region stemming from an increase in criminal activities. The agency is to oversee and monitor the activities of vigilante groups in the region. Chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, Dave Umahi, who read a communique after a meeting in Imo State, noted that the headquarters of ABUBAKAR security outfit will be in Enugu State. He said the outfit will join forces with the federal government in its efforts at ensuring that Nigerians enjoy better security of their lives and property. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamile, has advocated for proper synergy among the three arms of government for Nigerians to enjoy the benefits of democracy. He said those expecting the legislature to fight with executive arm of government are ignorant of what separation of power is all about. The speaker also dismissed the belief by some Nigerians of the existence of a number 1, 2, or 3 form of government, saying the three arms of government are equal with no senior or junior partner. The speaker, who spoke in an interview published in the current edition of the Green Chamber magazine, an official publication of the House, also said until Nigerians begin to tune their minds to politics of issues, the nation would not get anywhere fast. The Niger State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Muhammad Makunsidi, says members of the public will now pay 20,000 naira for COVID-19 tests in the state. According to him, this was agreed upon by the State Executive Council and the change begins immediately. The Commissioner said those who will pay the fee are those who need a COVID test to travel abroad or for other personal purposes. He added that the people who fall into the category of contact tracing and those who are recommended by a medical officer to be tested for exhibiting signs of the virus and posing a threat to the public will be tested free. Makunsidi explained that the amount which is subsidized by the government would have to bridge the cost of consumables, laboratory maintenance, and ensure a long-time sustainability framework. You're watching the World News on Independent Television. Still to come, politicians around the UK to pay tribute to Prince Philip. You can watch ITV News on Roku TV in the UK, America, Africa, and other parts of Europe, and also on Smart TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android TV. You can view us on TSTV on channel 364, nationwide on StarTime channel 130 and Gold TV channel 107. Follow us on our Twitter handle at ITV Radio NG, YouTube www.youtube.com/ITV Radio NG, website itvradioNigeria.com, live stream us at itvradioNigeria.com/live. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ITV Radio NG, Instagram at ITV NG. Remember to download the app today from your mobile Play Store. Just stay with us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. And now from the foreign scene, tear gas has been fired and a curfew imposed amid angry protests after police fatally shot a black man in a traffic stop in the U.S. city of Brooklyn Center, just north of Minneapolis. The man has been identified by relatives as 20-year-old Duante Wright. Report. Brooklyn Center's mayor issued a center-wide curfew, telling people to be safe and go home. Tensions in Minneapolis are high as the trial of the former officer accused of killing George Floyd takes place. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said he was closely monitoring the situation and praying for Mr. Wright's family. Hundreds of protesters chanting Duante Wright's name engaged in a standoff with riot police late on Sunday outside the police headquarters in Brooklyn Center, just a few kilometers north of central Minneapolis. Two police vehicles were pelted with stones and jumped on. Police later ordered the protesters to disperse, with footage showing tear gas and stone grenades being fired by officers. Reports say some of the Minnesota National Guard, already deployed for the murder trial of Derek Chauvin over the death of George Floyd, were sent to Brooklyn Center. Brooklyn Center has closed all school buildings, programs, and activities for today. In a statement, the Brooklyn Center Police Department said officers had pulled a man over for traffic violation on Sunday afternoon and determined that he had an outstanding arrest warrant. They said that when police tried to arrest him, he re-entered the vehicle. An officer then shot the driver, who drove on for several blocks before he crashed into another vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Sharon Ajayi reporting. From Iran, the foreign minister has said his country will take revenge for an attack on a key nuclear site for which it has blamed Israel. Iranian officials said the Natanz uranium enrichment plant was a target of nuclear terrorism on Sunday after initially reporting a power failure. New advanced centrifuges to enrich uranium had just been activated there. Israel has not commented, but public radio cited intelligence sources as saying it was a Mossad cyber operation. The sources said that these had caused more extensive damage than had been reported in Iran. In recent days, Israel has stepped up its warnings about Iran's nuclear program amid efforts to revive a 2015 nuclear deal that was abandoned by former U.S. President Donald Trump. Experts have warned that the Caribbean island of St. Vincent is likely to see further volcanic eruptions and ashfall over the coming days. The La Soferel volcano first erupted on Friday, blanketing the island in a layer of ash and forcing more than 16,000 people to evacuate their homes. Smaller explosions continued over the weekend, causing power cuts and disrupting water supplies. Emergency officials have described the landscape as a battle zone. White-colored dust has covered buildings and roads around the island, including in its capital, Kingstown. The Emergency Management Organizations, NEMO, spoke of possible destruction and devastation of communities close to the volcano and compared the eruption to that of 1902, the worst in St. Vincent's history, when more than 1,000 people were killed. Prime Minister Ralph Guzavs said water supplies to most of the island had been cut off and its airspace closed because of the smoke and thick plumes of volcanic ash moving through the atmosphere. The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency said Barbados Defense Force has been deployed to provide humanitarian assistance. Tropical cyclone Seroja has ripped across a 1,000-kilometer stretch of Western Australia, leaving a trail of damage. The Category 3 storm made landfall near the town of Kabari on Sunday with gusts of up to 170 km per hour. The storm was later downgraded to a tropical low, though strong winds continue to move southeast. Residents reported smashed houses, fallen trees and downed power lines. Kabari resident Deborah Major said the storm which hit the resort town raged through the night and was absolutely terrifying. Still on the foreign scene, leading politicians will meet in the UK's Parliament and assemblies later to pay tribute to the Duke of Edinburgh in person and via video link. The House of Commons, the Scottish Parliament and the Senate are being recorded especially for this purpose. The report. The Northern Ireland Assembly and House of Lords will also devote today to marking the life of Prince Philip, who died on Friday, aged 99. The Scottish Parliament and Senate, both of which were not due to be sitting ahead of May's elections, will be recalled for members to pay tribute. The day's scheduled business will be put back to Wednesday. The commemorations take place ahead of the Duke's funeral on Saturday. On Sunday, the Duke of York said the Queen described the death of a husband of 73 years as having left a huge void in her life. Prince Andrew said his father's death was a terrible loss and his family was rallying round to help the Queen. Princess Annie, the Duke's only daughter, said he would have a legacy which can inspire them all. The tributes come during a period of national mourning which will end on the day of Prince Philip's funeral at Windsor Castle's St. George's Chapel. A national minute silence will be held to coincide with the start of the service. The Duke of Sussex will attend the service without his wife, the Duchess of Sussex, who is pregnant and will remain at home in California on the advice of doctors.
Very, very sad, but I have to say that the extraordinary tributes and the memories that everybody has had and been willing to share has been so fantastic, and it just goes to show he might have been our father, grandfather, father-in-law, but he meant so much to so many other people.
Sharon Ajayi reporting. A conservative former banker, Guillermo Lasso, has won Ecuador's presidential election following a runoff vote. His opponent, the left-wing economist Andres Alroaz, conceded defeat hours after polls closed on Sunday. With almost all the ballots counted, Mr. Lasso had won 52.5% of the vote compared to Mr. Alroaz's 47.5%. Mr. Lasso, a 65-year-old three-time presidential candidate, told supporters he accepted the challenge of changing the country's destiny. Mr. Lasso will resume office on 24 May. The former banker, who has twice finished second in presidential votes, represents the country's business sector. He has vowed to break away from the leftist policies of past administrations that he says have dragged Ecuador down. He has pledged to attract increased foreign investments, create 2 million new jobs, and increase oil production. On the economy, he has proposed an increase in the minimum monthly wage, as well as tax cuts for small businesses, and the creation of a fund to stimulate entrepreneurship. China's top disease control official, Gao Fu, has said the efficacy of the country's COVID vaccines is low, in a rare admission of weakness. In a press conference, Gao Fu added that China was considering mixing vaccines as a way of boosting efficacy. China has developed 4 different vaccines approved by the WHO for public use, though some trials abroad had suggested efficacy as low as 50%. Mr. Gao later said his comments had been misinterpreted. More than 100 million people in China have received at least one shot of the vaccine. Beijing insists the jabs are effective and said it will grant visas only to foreigners with the Chinese shots. Mr. Gao explained that steps to optimize the vaccine process could include changing the number of doses and the length of time. He also suggested combining different vaccines for the immunization process. Mr. Gao's original and later comments have been largely unreported by Chinese media. His original comments, however, attracted some criticism on social media site Weibo, with commentators suggesting that he should stop talking. China is offering its vaccines around the world and has already shipped millions to countries from Indonesia, Turkey to Paraguay and Brazil. In our talk in sports, Delta State has continued to occupy the #1 spot in the medals table of the ongoing National Sports Festival holding in Edo State. In the latest standings, Delta State tops with 83 gold, 64 silver and 60 bronze medals, making a total of 207 medals. Edo State closely follows with 67 gold, 66 silver and 60 bronze medals, totaling 193 medals. Occupying the 3rd position is Bayelsa State, who has pulled 37 gold, 32 silver and 35 bronze medals, making 104 total medals. Rivers has 21 gold, 22 silver and 32 bronze medals, making 75 medals in total. And Lagos State comes next with 15 gold, 15 silver and 34 bronze medals. The festival continues. Edo State male football team yesterday qualified for the finals of the football event of the 20th National Sports Festival by defeating Imo State 3-1. Kings Duchebo reports that semi-final table tennis single and double games were also held in other venues in Benin City. The report.
The Comrade Shaibu-inspired Team Edo consolidated on their 2-1 lead in the first half and added another one to ensure a comfortable lead in the second half. Imo State made several efforts to reduce the goal deficit, but the match ended in favor of the host team, Edo State Alpha-Idome football team, and Edo State Deputy Governor, Comrade Philip Shaibu, who earlier missed a scoring opportunity in the 85th minute, said though the game was challenging, Team Edo fared better. He said the team is optimistic of recording victory over their opponents in the finals of the football event on Monday.
It was a difficult match. The Imo team is a strong team and they also were very tactical, but our boys, all of us placed the instruction, so it's an easy game, very difficult game. But the good news is that God gave us victory, and I'm so excited that we are in the finals of the 20th National Sports Festival.
The game attracted dignitaries, including a former Edo State Deputy Governor, Chief Mike Ogiadome, who assured of an eventful outing for Team Edo.
I recollect 2002 when I chaired these games, and we went into it and we won. And it's the same. Edo, Edo not the carry last. When we are in something like this, we must come out victorious.
In table tennis, Edo State qualified for semi-finals in the singles category by defeating Ondo State. Delta and Ondo State played in semi-finals doubles for females, while Cross River and Bayelsa State contested for title in the quarter-finals female singles.
The game was tough, but I really won.
Edo Camp is booming. They are doing their very best, playing wonderfully well. And by God's grace, we are aiming to clean so many goals here.
In the 75-kilogram female boxing event, Toyin Adejumola, representing Edo State, qualified for finals by defeating Fatima Aromokola, representing Lagos State. Mary Bassi, representing Akwa Ibom State, lost her silver medal bid in the 3rd round to Blessing Smart of Delta State. Team Edo's hope of winning gold medal in handball females was dashed as they lost to Delta 30-31 goals.
I'm good to go.
The final handball male game between Team Lagos and Kano was underway at the time of the report. Kingsley Uchebu reporting.
Still on the National Sports Festival, Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki says the state is not desperate to win the ongoing National Sports Festival, but invested hugely in acquiring sports facilities to enhance development of athletes. The state governor made a remark when he performed the ceremonial tee-off of the golf event of the 20th National Sports Festival. A report by Emma Sinedosa is presented by Roselyn Iverame.
Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has expressed satisfaction with the success recorded so far in hosting the ongoing National Sports Festival. The governor, who is a regular golfer, in company with his deputy, Comrade Philip Shaibu, performed the ceremonial tee-off for golfing events of Edo 2020 National Sports Festival. He said the sports facilities used for the sports festival will be maintained. The Minister for Sports, Sunday Dare, who was represented by ALHAJI Doratore, said the
ministry will take advantage of the sports facilities to develop athletes.
So it's not necessarily host and win thing. Yeah, we know we are good sportsmen. We know we have what it takes to win. But, you know, as sportsmen, we'll let excellence prevail.
The performances are very good. The state hosting tour has tried very well.
At the time of this report, Edo State has won 2 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals in golf. Meanwhile, there is rivalry between Edo and Delta State on who leads the overall medal table, with Edo State currently dominating in gymnastics in both male and female events. But Delta athletes are hopeful of retaining their crown as champions.
I just won my 3rd gold medal in this National Sport Festival, making 3 gold and 1 bronze. I'm still expecting more of the gold to come because I'm still competing.
I've been pushing my team to go for gold, and as God will have it, we've been getting the gold medals from every event we've competed on.
We have been doing it before. Even outside Edo State, we always deliver. Now in Edo State, we will definitely do that. We did it in 2002.
Roslyn Evorame reporting.
And after in the world news, are looking in at the top stories. Tear gas has been fired and a curfew imposed amid angry protests after police fatally shot a black man in a traffic stop in the U.S. city of Brooklyn Center, just north of Minneapolis. The man has been identified by relatives as 20-year-old Duante Wright. We also reported that Iran's foreign minister has said his country will take revenge for an attack on the key nuclear sites, for which it has blamed Israel. Iranian officials said the NATO's uranium enrichment plant was a target of nuclear terrorism on Sunday after initially reporting a power failure. And finally, you heard that leading politicians will meet in the UK's parliaments and assemblies later to pay tribute to the Duke of Edinburgh in person and via video link. The House of Commons, the Scottish Parliament and the Senate are being recorded especially for this purpose. And there's the world news is read by Sharon Ajay. Thanks a lot for watching. Join us tonight at 7:30 p.m. for our main